Hey, folks, welcome to Advisory. Good morning. Happy Friday.
Mr. Hall, don't tell him it's Friday. It's not Friday.
It actually is Friday because there is no school tomorrow. And everyone knows that on days that there is no school tomorrow, that day is Friday. And when that day is Friday, you know what that means. Anyway, yeah. So, happy Friday. I know you probably all know this by now, but there's no school Thursday. There is no school Friday. And so it's going to be a great 4-day weekend, and I can't wait. What's that? Ladies and gentlemen, we're getting this fresh news today. Breaking news. There's no school Monday! At least for students, we have to come to work. So don't come to school on any of those days. You will be the only one here, except for Monday because teachers will be here, and then you'll be the only kid here in a school full of teachers, and nobody wants that. So enjoy your 5-day weekend, and we will see you on Tuesday. Robotics or choir or band or music or anything of the sort, we really, we know what we're doing around here, okay? Anytime I hear about them, I try to include them in advisory. I'm going to try to include them in advisory from now on in a new segment I'm going to be calling W.T. White Success Stories. You know what, though? That title is a little wordy. It's a little bit verbose. So I'm going to shorten it, I think, to Dub-T Dubs. This week in Dub-T Dubs, robotics. That's right, we have a robotics team here at W.T. White, if you didn't know, and they rule. They are building robots that will someday take over the world.
And rule us all.
We have 2 excellent teams from W.T. White named the Robohorns and Chaotic Wally. The Robohorns placed 17th out of 52 teams. Excellent. And their robot performed really, really well. And their next competition is in a couple of weeks. If you see any of these robotics folks, congratulate them and wish them well on their journey. Those are the folks you want to make friends with when the robots take over. Next up, cross country. You guys know what cross country is. It's that sport where you start off by running, and then you in the middle part you actually do some more running, and then towards the end it actually is crazy. It changes up because you do
even more running.
And turns out our Longhorns are pretty good at doing just that. Our Longhorns are district champs. And if I'm not mistaken, our own Mia Oliver came in first. So congratulations to our runners as well. Let me tell you, just keep on running. And this has been another installment of Dub-T Dubs. All right, now that we've gotten our updates out of the way, I wanted to take a moment today in advisory to go back and think about what we started talking about yesterday with the School Links activity. Because I know that if you maybe spent some time for the first time looking through all the different options for colleges, all the different options for majors and jobs and careers and all this stuff, you might be thinking to yourself that it's a lot, maybe too much, might be stressing you out right now, depending on where you are. If you're a senior right now and you're getting ready to graduate and make these decisions for real, then you're probably a little extra stressed about it. But if you're a freshman or a sophomore or two and you haven't really started to think about these things, then you might be stressed out and overwhelmed by that as well. That is very normal. I remember whenever they looked at me when I was 18 years old and said, hey, what do you want to do when you grow up?
What do you want to do? What's your career? What do you want your career to be?
What do you want to do for the
rest of your life?
And I was just like,
I don't know. I know.
I eventually made those decisions, but I remember being very overwhelmed by those decisions. When it gets to talking to counselors and figuring out what your classes should be and thinking about what kind of scholarships you want to get and talking about all sorts of career opportunities and what's the best school and what's the cheapest school and what's the school that's closest to my family and all these things start floating around in your head, it gets easy to forget the point of what we're doing when we prepare for our future, when we talk about college or career, when we talk about what we want to be when we grow up, or who we want to be when we grow up. To some of you that might be closer than others to growing up, this is a more pressing question than it used to be. But do you remember when you got asked this question as a kid? Because I'm sure that you did, by somebody. Do you remember what the answers were then when you didn't know about scholarships in college and credits and all this stuff? Do you remember what you said whenever you were asked that? I remember I wanted to be, all sorts of things. Cowboy, astronaut, Batman. And yeah, of course you can say I was a kid. I didn't know what I didn't know, and I didn't know what I wanted yet. But there is something very sweet and precious about us when we're kids and we're thinking about what the adult world might be like for us. And so amidst all the craziness of School Links and all of the process that it's going to take to get from where you are now to your adult life, I wanted us to take a moment and pause and think about the dreams that we had when we were a kid, because there's something about that innocence that we had when we were thinking about the world that we can still capture some of and remember when we're making these decisions. It was not in my cards to be an astronaut, but what was the spirit that made me look at an astronaut and say, that is cool, I want to do that? And what are some of the things that you thought when you were a kid that is cool and I want to do that? And is there a way now that you can make some of that dream a reality? And you may have forgotten how you felt about this question when you were a kid, and that is perfectly normal. But I wanted to show you this video today that involves asking kids what they want to be when they grow up. I want you to listen to their answers, as silly or as simple as they may be, and I want you to think of your own answer to this question without all the constraints of college and career. Even though we grow more knowledgeable as we grow older, I think that there's something that we lose as we become adults that the kids kind of have figured out. And so without further ado, let's go to them and see their answers to this question. What do you want to be when you grow up?
What do you want to be when you grow up?
I want to be... Hey, I never thought of that. Let me think about that. Whoa.
I want to be a teacher when I grow up.
Elementary teacher. I like little kids.
A babysitter.
A pastor.
Dolphin trainer.
A gentle without each bunch. A haircutter.
A person who helps in charities.
Only cashier at Walmart.
A author. Chapter books about mythical creatures and animals and things.
I want to be a lawyer.
Lawyer.
Pilot. Pilot? And a dad? A pilot racer dad? Scientist. Paleontologist. Mine for dinosaur bones and studies them.
YouTuber.
Movie star.
A famous actor.
Actor. On stage.
On TV.
On Disney Channel.
Or commercials. I gotta be a model.
I'll work it.
If I want a model, I'll just be a policeman. Police officer. A cop. I want to do car chases. Catch bad guys. A superhero. Batman. Spider-Man.
I would like to go into the U.S. Army because my grandma, she loved the Army, but she never went into the service.
I want to be the third African-American gymnast. Gymnastic coach.
I want to be a professional dancer.
Dancer.
Dance teacher.
Ballerina.
Professional soccer player.
I have a shirt on right now that's for Barcelona. Soccer player.
Basketball player.
Basketball, football, or soccer player. Or baseball. I can never choose. I do not know. I'm still working on that.
Maybe when I grow up, I'll pick. I already have a whole plan. Serve the Air Force for 20 years. Become a businessman, make my own company for cars.
I want to be a Pokemon trainer. I want to work at Target. I want a cake. I want to be a pop star, rock star, singer.
I want to be a cook.
But I don't really know how to actually cook. I want to be an artist.
Painter. I want to be an artist that goes around painting walls. An artist and a video game maker. Video game designer. Video gamer. I want to be a filmmaker. Whatever my dad is.
Oh, do you know what your dad is?
I'm not sure. I'll be a doctor. Doctor. A mermaid. A mermaid doctor. Heart surgeon. Neurosurgeon.
Cardiologist.
Gynecologist.
Pediatrician, the kid's doctor. Pediatrician.
And why do you want to do that?
I want to be a doctor and then I can wear rainbow sweatpants.
I really want to be a nurse. Everyone says you have to be very good at science and math. I'm not really, but I still want to be one.
I want to be a pet doctor because I like helping animals. Pet vet. Vet. Veterinarian.
Veterinarian.
Zoologist. Princess Fairy Zookeeper.
How much do you think they get paid?
$29.
So there you go, 100 questions from 100 kids about what they want to be when they grow up. And you heard all sorts of answers. And those answers come from everywhere. Maybe they come from what they see their parents doing. You heard that one kid say, I want to be what my dad does. And they asked him, what does he do? And he's like, I don't know. You had very specific answers, like different types of doctors and different areas of study that kids found themselves interested in. You heard all the big ones: doctor, lawyer, firefighter, zookeeper, police officer, catching bad guys. And then you also heard some of the more fantastic ones like Pokemon trainer, or even a Princess Fairy zookeeper that makes $29. And of course, that sounds silly to us as adults or almost adults, but that is exactly what she wanted to be at that moment, because it's all of her interests combined into one, I would imagine. Plus, you go ahead and tell this sweet baby angel that she can't be a Princess Fairy zookeeper for $29 a year, okay? You go ahead and tell her that. What happens after is on you, buddy, okay? She's going to be the best Princess Fairy zookeeper for $29 the world has ever seen. This question is the thing that we're going to be talking about a little bit in advisory today with your advisors. As you guys are discussing this, I want you to think of what you wanted to be when you were a kid and how that compares to what you want to be now. What are some of the connecting dots between the passions that you had and the interests that you had when you were a young child and what you find yourself doing and interested in now? And then after you guys have that discussion, you'll have some more time to work on the School Link stuff. Remember to finish those October tasks. And if you need a refresher on that, or if you didn't see yesterday's video, I've put it in the next slide as well. But you don't have to watch it if you've already seen it. And that's all from me for today, folks. Be good to yourself and others. Have a wonderful, long weekend, and we'll see you here on Tuesday.